Hi guys, welcome back to Planet Mithril. My name is Mithril, and today I'm tackling the other half of the sibling duo from Thorins Company with my How to Paint Fili the Dwarf tutorial. Another sculpt with a lot of hidden detail in it. The texture over his hair and coat in particular, although looks fairly minimal, actually shines through as you're painting. The details on these plastic Thorins Company models really hit the mark. I'm going to be using a lot more browns and desaturated tones to really get Fili battle ready. He has some strange, almost grey browny tones in the film, which I'm going to try and replicate here for you the best I can. I'll be working my Fili off of a Chaos Black spray undercoat prior to painting. Brush is ready, let's get to it. Fili's face and fingers are being given a base coat using Bugman's Glow. His hair and beard are being given a base coat using Xandri Dust, making sure I catch all the moustache handlebar danglies and braids hanging down around the sides. His coat is being given a base coat using a 1-to-1 mix of Rhinox Hide and Abaddon Black, making sure to get all up around the sleeves and in all the grooves of material. The fur trim around his cuffs and over his chest now I'm painting in using Rakarth Flesh, making sure this gets all up in the recesses of the fur texture. His fingerless gloves, the teeny tiny knife sheaths over his forearms, the inner of the back scabbard, and his trousers now are being base coated using Thondir Brown. The strap across Fili's front now is being carefully base coated using Baneblade Brown. His boots are now being base coated using Corvus Black. Finally, the sword blades and the metallic filigree and detail over the scabbard now are being all base coated in using Lead Belcher. His face and hands have been given a targeted shade using Reikland Flesh Shade. Now I'm giving pretty much the entirety of the rest of the model a shade using Agrak Surf Shade, including the coat, furs, trousers, hair, leathers, the lot. Finally, the metallics and the boots are being given a shade using Nuln Oil. I'm building in the basic structure of Fili's face and separating out the fingers now using a 1-to-1 mix of Bugman's Glow and Cadian Flesh Tone. This is being followed up with a second layer now using pure Cadian flesh tone and further fleshing out, if you will, the shape and structure of his facial features and hands. I'm now applying a highlight, framing his brow, forehead, nose and cheekbones, and just accentuating the stress points over the knuckles using a 1-to-1 mix of Cadian flesh tone and Kislev flesh. You can apply a further highlight using pure Kislev flesh if you feel your model needs it, but that's totally up to you. The eye recesses are now being picked out with Abaddon Black. And finished off with 2 dots of pallid witch flesh either side. I'm applying a blocking layer to the hair and beard now using a 2-to-1 mix of Sandry Dust and Screaming Skull, blocking out the larger sections of hair, leaving the shade showing in the larger recesses, creating some initial structure, separating out the braids and inlaying some subtle texture over his tash and beard. Right, now I'm going all over the hair now, and applying another layer using a 2-to-1 mix, this time in favour of Screaming Skull to the Xandri Dust. You can see how I'm being much more targeted, creating even more texture over his hair by separating out and painting in individual hairs, particularly over the larger section on top, further defining the texture of his beard and the bobbles and twists that make up the multitude of braids too. The final stage is to apply an extreme edge highlight just to the tips and edges of hair now using pure Screaming Skull. I'm now applying the glaze using some heavily diluted Seraphim Sepia to tie all the layers together and tone down the vibrancy of the blonde a little bit. I'm applying a blocking layer to the main body of his coat now using a 2-to-1 mix of the base coat mix and Karak stone, leaving the Agrak showing in the recesses where I can. There's a small horizontal band of material that circles the lower hem of Fili's coat here, which I'm not hitting with this layer. That's going to be painted differently very shortly. A second layer is now being applied, and I'm increasing the amount of Karak stone in the mix so that I'm working with 2 parts Karak stone to 1 part the original base coat mix. Now the Karak stone helps lift the tone really naturally, and although looks quite gradual, really helps reinforce my blend from the shaded sections through to these lighter areas. I'm applying my first highlight now using a 4-to-1 mix of the previous mix to Screaming Skull. Now yes, this does make for a slightly convoluted mix, but honestly I feel like this really helps give the best and most authentic look possible to Fili's coat here, and by keeping the Screaming Skull at a minimum and building up gradually, you can create some really lovely natural definition to these upper folds of material. I'm simply continuing to increase the amount of Screaming Skull in my mix for the final edge highlights over the coat. You can see how this has taken on a very subtle purple hue to the upper levels, which is absolutely perfect to capture that authentic look from the film. And now giving the coat a glaze using heavily diluted Seraphim Sepia once again. Now for that strip that runs along the hem of Fili's coat, I'm going to start by giving this a base coat using Mechanica Standard Grey. This is being followed with a layer using a 1-to-1 mix of Mechanica Standard Grey and Storm Vermin Fur. The great thing here is that you can follow the flow of the coat and the highlights already in place to keep the flow of material looking natural and authentic and tie it in with the rest of the material. A final edge highlight to the upper and lower sides of this banding is being applied using Storm Vermin Fur. I'm now going to separate out the strands of the fur cuffs and on the front of the coat using a 1-to-1 mix of Rakarth Flesh and Screaming Skull, leaving the shade showing in the recesses. Following this up with a highlight using pure Screaming Skull just to pick up the tips of the fur detailing. The leathers, sheaths and trousers now are being given a layer using a 1-to-1 mix of Thondia Brown and Deathclaw Brown. All these sections now are being highlighted using Deathclaw Brown. Also, don't forget to hit the scabbard on Fili's back with this at this stage. I may have forgot to film that myself. The dagger handles and belt around his waist are being picked out using Dryad Bark. And are then all being given an edge highlight using Gorthor Brown. The shoulder strap is being edge highlighted using Karak Stone. I'm framing the boots now using Eshin Grey. This has been followed by an edge highlight using Administratum Grey. Now that the boots are finished, the straps around the shins can now be picked out using dryad bark. And these are then being given an edge highlight using Gawthor Brown, again so they match the other belts and straps. The edges of the swords, the metallic details on the scabbard and any extra buckles and metallic details are being hit with some Stormhost silver. With the hilts of the swords now being picked out using Runelord brass. And finally highlighted using Canoptech alloy. There you are. Fili is now ready to join his brother Kili on the battlefield and help the company on its long, treacherous journey to the mountain kingdom of Erebor. And with this, that finally marks getting past the halfway point through Thorins Company tutorials. Only a few more to go, and then I'm sure everyone's more excited for a lot less Dwarvish content. For basing tips and tricks, please head over and check out my 5-minute bases playlist on the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and hit that bell to make sure you never miss a Mithril upload. Thank you so much to all our Patreons. Your support helps keep the lights on over at Mithril Towers. And until next time guys, I hope you enjoyed, and as always, happy hobbying.